Hello and welcome to my new small series. I'm Monk7Mad and you're joining me here on the YouTube Essentials, and basically this is going to be a small series dedicated to making you as YouTube users more involved with your channel, I suppose is the only way I can sort of explain it. And the essentials are going to be something like the YouTube background, the avatar and the intro, and they're the three main things people will have on YouTube to make their channel stand out, or how you want to be recognized, so on and so forth. And I'm going to be showing you how to make a nice, sleek, simple and professional looking background really simply. You know, everyone can do this. There's going to be a template in the description with this file in it at the moment, and there'll also be another link with the finished version, although I think it's best if you try to do it yourself. I always find myself quite proud to know that every single background I've ever made is one that I've made. I've not had to buy it. And I'm just going to demonstrate to you the very first YouTube channel I made, and people say to me, can you make me YouTube backgrounds all the time now? And you know, it's quite a nice feeling to know that they're quite nice. But I remember this being the first one I ever made, and people say to me, oh, I can't do it, can you do it? And I just want to show you this, and this is actually agony for me to demonstrate how poor this is. But I remember making this about, let me think, how old am I now? About 5 years ago now. And I mean, there's so much wrong with it. I mean, it's so blurry, there's too much going on, it's too bright. I don't know why I've got a rust texture, or even the radiation symbol where you won't even be able to see it. The text doesn't fit in. I actually remember this not even fitting the page properly as well. And you know, there's just so much wrong with this, and people say I can't do it, and I keep that just to show you that, you know, no matter how much you think or how bad you think you are, you can always improve. And I remember this was just before Black Ops came out, and the same sort of thing, just so many textures and so much stuff going on. And this one looks a lot better than the last one, but you know, there's just too much going on. If you go onto YouTube right now and you were to look up something like, ignore that page for a moment, I'll get back to that. If you were to go onto YouTube and type in something like, I don't know, let's try Sam 5000. If you go onto his channel, you'll see his background, although it's a partnership, you'll see that his page is actually really simple. There's nothing really here at all. And in fact, even that's designed by somebody else. And a lot of people are getting people to design stuff for him, but I think it's so cool you can make your own stuff. And you know, it actually shows a bit about you as a YouTuber, and I think that's something that's really quite important. Now, I've opened this page up, and this is not to criticize this person in any way. It's actually just a good example for me. When I found this channel, you know, I looked at the background, and I don't know about you, but I find myself very distracted by the background. I always seem to focus on the background more than the video section in the middle. And you know, sometimes you just want to make your channel look really quite neat, and something I always like to be able to do is have something quite neat and organised. But let's build this nice background then, shall we? This is going to be part one, where it's going to be the simple one where it's just for standard YouTubers. There's going to be a partnership one in the next video. Now, I just want to point out in advance, I've had to change microphones over. My other one just died out, which kind of sucks. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a big paintbrush, the standard default top left paintbrush. I'm going to make the size about 2000 pixels. Oops, undo that. And we're going to make the background colour a really dark blue. And we're going to click OK when you've chosen the blue. And the reason I've chosen blue is just purely my preference. You can choose whatever colour you like. And we're going to double click the paintbrush in the top, and the reason we're double clicking is to make the feather on the brush extend a little bit further, so it looks a little bit softer and fits in a bit better. Okay, now what we're going to do is, I've actually got a layer in this called shape 1, and we're just going to put this layer that we've just done beneath that. Now, anything that's in that shape 1 area won't be shown on the page because it'll be covered up by the videos, but it's always nice to keep things neat, so put everything beneath that layer, unless I state it. Now we're going to make a brand new layer, and we're going to get another paintbrush. Now, I just want to point out in advance before I go and select this paintbrush is that this paintbrush is not a default brush. It's one that I've taken from a graphics pack somewhere. Unfortunately, I don't know who made it, otherwise I would credit them right now. If you don't have the brush and you like the brush, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll put all the brushes and stuff that I use in a small file for you to download. So don't forget to do that. Right, now we're going to go and change the brush size down to about 350, 375 pixels. It depends. You don't want it to take up too much space. We want it to be kind of simple, so that one is a pretty good brush. And we're going to make the colour just off white, just a bit grey. And the reason we're doing that is if it's too white, it just looks horrible. I think it's always nice to make things look a little bit more subtle. So we're going to get this layer, Control J or Command J, then we're going to edit, transform, and flip. And we're going to just line them up. I want to apologise in advance if I'm going quite speedy. Trying to do a whole background in however much time I've got left is going to be a bit of a challenge, so hopefully you can bear with me. I know the video just overruns a little bit. Right, so we're going to click on both layers, opposite click and merge. And we're going to move this beneath the shape one as well. Whew. Right, let's just try and put it where you like. Oh, keep moving that background. Lock that background layer. Okay, so you're going to get the thing and you're just going to move it about to wherever you want. When you've done that, you're going to go to normal and you're going to click on the drop down arrow and click on soft light. And the soft light just puts it in there just enough so you can see it, but not too much that it stands out like really, really strong, because when something is too overpowering, it doesn't look too nice. Now I want to point out at this point that the video section in the middle where the white lines are on the edges, you can actually remove that by taking off the stroke. And I'm going to leave it in here for my video for the effect that I'm going to be doing. Right, so let's get another brush and we're going to just add a little bit more to it. Now generally something that I always find really quite successful is something like stars or planets or something space-like. I call it planetary, not that brush. And you're just going to find one that you like. Now I think having quite a few stars, like something like that, probably a bit better. And we're just going to fill up the sort of blue section when I sort of finish faffing around, getting the sizes right, etc. And you're just going to sort of fill in the blue bit so that later on we're going to be able to just rub around it with the eraser and sort of blend it in a bit more, just like the feather from the blue background that we've made earlier. And don't worry if it goes onto the video section in the middle, because we're on a new layer at the moment, so it doesn't really matter. Let's just shift that beneath the layer for the time being. And let's just try and fill the page in a bit. Let's just dot things around. You don't want to try and overlap the brush too much, otherwise some of the bits will become too much brighter than others and it'll look uneven. But when that's about right, you're going to get the eraser and you're going to change the opacity to 50%, and you're just going to go along the bottom here without letting go of the mouse and just sort of curve it round. And the reason we're doing this is that we're going to let go and then re-click, and it will start rubbing out more, and this is how we get the faded effect, gradual fade. And it's just along the bottom here, and you can also dot around the page on bits you think stand out too much. I know I do, just to sort of make it sit in a bit better. And while it's on 50% opacity, it won't completely remove anything, it just removes half of it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add something called actually, let's find a texture. Flares. Flares are an absolute lifesaver. This is one thing I completely forgot about. And we're going to get this flare, and it's a standard flare. You can look on Google for it. It really doesn't matter. All we're going to do is we're just going to get it, and we're just going to go to Edit, Transform, Rotate 90 degrees. Doesn't matter whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise. We're just going to line it up on the edge. Lift it up a bit higher. We want everything to be around that sort of paint mark we did earlier on. And we're going to change the blend mode to screen, and we're going to duplicate that with Control J. And we're going to move it onto the... Ooh, why is it not following my mouse properly? Alright, let's move it and line it up on the other side. And we're going to do the same thing which we've been doing before, which is the gradual effect of rubbing out later on. But we're going to just merge these two together when they're lined up nice. Are they lined up? Yep. Right, so click Control, click on both layers, then opposite click Merge Layers, and the blend mode will change back to normal, so you want to change that to screen. And we're actually going to leave this above the shape for the time being, and we're just going to use the rubber and go over the bottom. And the reason we're going to have it above is so that it sits on top of the lines, the stroke lines on the shape one, as opposed to just sort of sitting underneath where you won't be able to see them. Okay, let's have a look. Right, the next thing we're going to be wanting to try and do is add some lights. I know I've got something somewhere, whether it's in this folder or not. Yep, here it is, good. And I've just got a spacey image. You can have any one. You can just search stars on Google or anything. And all I'm going to do for this one is, because the colour's a bit off, I'm just going to put it in the corner. I'm going to go to Image, Adjustment, Hue and Saturation. I'm going to go on Colorize. Then I'm going to change the saturation back to 50 because it automatically goes to 25. And I'm going to go on the hue, and I'm going to try and match it up to the light if I can. That's not too bad, okay. And we're going to change the blend mode to screen or lighten. Screen works a bit better. Duplicate again. Then we're going to go edit, transform, flip. So we're just basically making one side and then copying it over. Just line them up. Yep. Okay, then we're going to merge these two together again. Blend mode to screen. And we're going to use the rubber and go over the bottom again, because we don't want any sharp lines. We want it all to fade in. And that's nice. We're going to move it beneath the shape one again. So the only thing that's going to be above the shape one at the moment is going to be text and the flares. So look, see if we've got anything else. I know, let's add something called scan lines. Now scan lines are seriously important, and you know, for a long time I actually couldn't work out what it is. I just couldn't work out what it was at all. So we're going to line it up in the top corner, and we're going to click shift and extend it so it reaches the other side of the page, just on the edge, and we're going to double click on it to apply the transformation. And we're just going to get the rubber, and we're going to do the same thing again. We're just going to go, it's the same sort of process over and over again. Get it, rub out the bottom while holding once, then let go, then do it again. And we're just going to move that beneath the shape, because we don't want the flares to be distorted by it. We just want the sort of stars. If I zoom in, you should be able to see it a little bit. Yep, okay. Now the last thing I have is fill in the text bar, and if you look on this channel here, there's actually nothing on this one. But if we go to my channel, I've actually got a bit that says, let me just pause the video a second. Okay, we've got a bit which says GFX editor, then we've got tutorials and gameplay, and you know, you can fill in all that sort of stuff there. And I'm going to just get text, and I think it's always best if you use the same text over and over again. I'm going to use Alien League from dafont.com, and I'm going to have it about 16 pixels. Just click on that area there, and you can zoom in and so on if you want to do it a bit better. I'm going to put in my channel's username, so Monk7Mad. I'll zoom in so you can see it. It's about right, so I'm just going to move that into the middle. Oh, silly flares. Right, we're just going to have to lock every layer but the text for the time being, just so we don't lose anything out of its place. Lock, and lock. Okay, so we're going to get the text. We'll move it into the middle, and no, that's not right. That's not too bad. It doesn't really matter for this video, but for you, you want to get it in the middle. You can add a ruler in on the window if you want. And I'm just going to duplicate, and I'm just going to change the text to something like gameplay. And do the same thing again. Duplicate, and oh, why does this not follow my mouse? Right, and we're going to put it about there, and we're going to, yep, that's about right. And I'm just going to change it to something like tutorial or tutorials. And you want to try and keep them the same distance apart from the center text, so it sort of sits in a bit better. It doesn't really matter. Change it how you like. And you can also add in, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add in another flare, just like the same flare we used earlier on. And we're just going to put it, let's find it first. Where is it? There it is. Okay. And we're just going to take that into Photoshop, and we're just going to put it underneath where the text thing is, and we're just going to put it in line with the center text. And we're just going to get the rubber, and this time with the rubber we're just going to rub the sides out, just the sides, just so it doesn't like sort of go out of the boxy area. And we're going to do that on both sides, so just rub that out and change the blend mode to screen. Oh, nudge that. Right, screen, zoom in. Right, and we're actually going to put that beneath the fill-in text bar layer, and we're going to change the fill-in text bar layer so we can see the flare. And we're going to change the opacity to about 75. No, is that too much? Yeah, okay, let's change it to 65 or 45, 55. Just experiment, find an opacity that works for you, and that's pretty much it. So let's save this super sharp. So we're going to press Control, Alt, Shift and E, and that makes everything compressed into a new layer. And we're going to go and turn every other layer off for the time being, and we're going to go to the top, and we're sharpening it here. So filter, sharpen, and then smart sharpen. And you want to change the settings so that the amount is 100, and you want to change the radius between somewhere between 0.4 and 0.6. So I'm going to just go with 0.5 to stay safe. Click OK, so that sharpens everything nice. And then we're going to go File, Save for Web and Devices. And remember that the YouTube background's file size is 1 meg, and that's actually just over by 11 kilobytes. Not that I don't think it will really matter, but we'll change it to 99 anyway, just so it's under. And it's a really nice quality, that is fantastic quality. So we're going to save it. And always the higher sort of the quality, the better the whole thing will look. And we're just going to save it to my desktop as the simple background professional. What do you call it? Sample professional, simple professional, something like that. Right, and that's pretty much it, guys. So links in the description. Please don't forget to remember to like the video. It's always handy to know. And the next video is going to be the partnership backgrounds. And don't forget to check out my channel for new updates, videos, and everything else. Thanks, guys. Take care and have a great day.